What's up, Ranch Sorters? We're here with two of Tuesday night's Challenge of the Champions winners, amateur division winner Aubree Coker from Florida, and Open division winner Kody Ward from Colorado.
Yes, ma'am.
You say it.
Yeah, Colorado.
Georgia says Colorado. I noticed that y'all say that a lot.
Yeah.
These two guys right here were actually back numbers 10 and 11.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what, $600 separating you guys?
Something like that, really close. I was very surprised about that.
That is pretty neat. Now, I have to say with this Challenge of the Champions things, if you have not followed that, that's relatively new. We've got some banners hanging up in the background. We started in 2021. We name the champions of each division every year. They come in, top 20 money earners from the year, just a year of sorting. And Aubree, tell us how much this year you won.
It was $34,000, and it was a little bit higher, like on the higher end of that.
I think you won like 34.9 or something like that.
Yes.
Because I was looking at it in the couple months leading up to it, and I was like, gosh, I might not even make the Challenge of Champions. I was in it for a while, and then I was really close, and then I started looking down the list, and I was like, gosh, I wouldn't even make the amateur, and so you guys won a lot of money this year in the amateur division, that's for sure.
They really did, and Kody brought up a great point. So you can go onto RSNC's website, and it has each of the divisions, and Kody, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking that you see the top 5, and then it shows 6 through 10.
Yes, yeah, it shows the top 5 that would be making it, and then it shows 6 through 10, and I think they call those 4 through 7 spots the face-off zone. You know,
the
see who's
face-off.
going to make the finals.
And that did change a little bit throughout the year. like 4, 5, 6, 7, they would move up and down.
So,
Aubree-
funny story, I wasn't even 5th. I ended up 6th because Miss Sue Geiser cleaned up at a show in California the weekend before this show. And she ended up, I was so excited. We were sitting at the cattle barn, and I got a voicemail from RSNC, and it said something about the Challenge of the Champions. And I had already looked earlier that day, and I was like, I'm out. It's okay, you can't do anything about it at that point. And then I see a voicemail on my phone, and I just started jumping up and down, embarrassing myself in front of all the professional cow buyers and sellers. But I was tickled pink.
So you're saying that a late show actually bumped you down a
Yes,
little bit?
ma'am.
Well, let's talk about, though, how she actually got in there. She was not really.
No.
Were you even in the 10?
I think I might have been, no, I don't think I was even in the 10.
I don't think she was either. In April, she went into Ohio to a show.
Beautiful arena, Garwood Arena.
Yes, in
Yep.
Columbiana.
Yes.
Columbiana, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And in one of the shootout classes,
The 9.
tell them.
So,
tell them how
in-
many places you won, Aubree.
Yes, ma'am. Well, in the 13 shootout, I ended up getting 2nd and 3rd, and then
And in the 13 shootout, she got 2nd and 3rd.
and then in the 9 shootout, I ended up by something amazing, the 1st through 4th in the 9 shootout.
First through 4th. This is a kind of an interesting story. So I read the rule book on the way out here just to kind of brush myself up a little bit. And one of the things I was looking for was, I'm going to call it now the Aubree rule, right? And so when RSNC tends to move people, like ones, just in case you don't know, 3 checks or 500, it's automatic, right?
Yep.
2s, there's a little more, it's $1,000, and they check your win-loss ratio. 3s get looked at twice a year, but a lot of times 4s and up only get looked at after finals.
The finals, yep.
And Aubree gets moved in April.
Right before this show. And I felt really bad because I had to end up changing a lot of my rides, but it ended up working out okay. And actually, I wouldn't have been riding with Miss Sherry in the 8 class last night if I hadn't gotten bumped.
I
so.
think it worked out better than okay for you.
It
You've had a pretty
did,
good
it did.
final so far.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she might have been just a little angry about it, but the part, Aubree, that got us covered to move you was in extreme cases, they can be moved throughout the year. And Kody, wouldn't you agree?
I would say winning 1st through 4th and in the 9 gold shootout is an extreme case. It's a good time to move you up. And I think, obviously you're riding at the appropriate rating because you came down here and had a great show. So
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
So let's actually talk about the Challenge of the Champions night, now that we've meandered all the way around. So, Kody, in the Open division, so we took the top 5 Open riders from the year. So we've got you, we've got Logan, we've got Joel, Matt Stevens,
and Travis
Robertson, and it's a round-robin format, so kind of talk us through that.
Yeah, so there's 5 of us in each division of the Challenge of Champions, and everybody rides with everybody once. So you end up with 4 rides. There's 10 teams total. We all ride on the same herd of cows, try and keep it even for everybody. And, just in true round-robin format, whoever has the most cows in the least amount of time wins. And I was lucky this year.
And in Kody's case, so I'm keeping notes on my paper, and at one point you and Logan both had 20.
Yeah.
The other guys were they were hitting some zeros out there pretty early. And then Kody gets a 30 head on his 3rd run, and so Logan gets a 0, so it kind of came down to his last run, which he ended up.
Yeah, watching both of Logan and I, we rode together was our first ride in the class for each of us, and we ran a 10, Logan and then I ran a 10 with Joel, and Logan had another good run, 10, and then, it came down to his last run. With Joel, he had to be, I think he had to be about a 52 or something to put it close enough to where I didn't want to mess with the time, and I'd have to go get another cow or a clean run on my last run, but they ended up no time, and so then I could just kind of go out there and have fun on my last ride.
What about that herd? We talked last night a lot about that Open herd that those guys were riding on, but that Challenge of the Champions herd, I had a lot of zeros on my paper.
Yeah, they were pretty tricky. That first run out, Joel and Travis had a couple of cows that didn't want to come out for them, and then Logan and I got a good lay, and they were good, but they were tricky. They would look really good for a run, and then you thought you could press on the gas pedal a little bit, and then they would get weird and real runny, and then you flip them down to the other side, and they were really runny. The second run I put them down there with Travis, they were bad. It was kind of a miracle that we were able to get them sorted, but yeah, it was a tricky herd, and obviously it's got to be a pretty tricky herd when you've got a lineup of riders like that and you see a bunch of zeros on the board. So
absolutely. Now, Aubree, when I talked to you on the floor Tuesday night, you were like, well, I just wanted to go in there and get a clean run, but Chris Dornick had kind of set that bar, so you really needed a little more than a clean run.
Yes, ma'am. So when me and Sydney walked in there, I had my people on the sidelines, which Kody's girlfriend, Nicole, is absolutely amazing. I've made her be down there to spot for me every run that I've had this weekend, so I really appreciate her. Sydney walked in, and she's like, let's just get a clean run, and I knew Trent told me that we had to have 10, so I was like, well, we'll get a clean run and hopefully 10, I hope, And me and Sydney actually ended up being tied, which I don't think Trent knew that, so good thing that the timing ended up working out. But
yeah, you were tied with 29 head.
Yes. Crazy. And another thing, I just felt absolutely honored to be riding against the people that I was, because they are like the best in the country, and we've been all competing against each other this whole year, and it has been amazing to ride with them and against them, and just everybody's always cheering each other on. And the girls, Sydney and Sadie and Miss Kim and even Chris Dornick, I don't ride against him or with him much, but they're just absolutely amazing riders, and I was just honored to be in there with them.
That's what I heard. We're sitting over there in the Open, and usually that's the one to watch, and I start looking up in the stands, and it's getting smaller and smaller, and I can hear screaming over here, and I talked to Nicole afterwards, and she was like, man, it was intense over there in the amateur. We didn't even care what you guys were doing. It was a knife fight in the amateur class, so that was really cool to hear that you guys had to work for it. And
yes, it wasn't easy.
It really was. Those guys, the Open guys, they were pretty much 10 or none. That's what y'all were putting on the board, and these guys treated it like a round robin, which to me, you got to have that consistency for every ride, but you were putting numbers up too.
Yes, ma'am.
Kody won his with 30 and you won yours with 29, so you were getting in there.
Yes, ma'am. And that was the goal. When before the first run, it was a tricky run, and my horse made some amazing stops in the hole. We got 3 head, and that's, it was only 3 cows, but 3 cows was better than nothing in my head, and so we just kept rolling after that. and just getting a time.
Your guys' herd was bad too. I watched a couple because we ran one at a time, back and forth. So I was kind of watching when I'd be in the arena. And your guys' herd was really rough. So you guys did a good job. I think there was only one no time, right, in your guys' set.
Yes.
So you did a better job than we did.
Yeah.
Sorting them clean. That's awesome.
Thank you.
It was a really great night. It has, to me, become something that we all enjoy. We have had some really good crowds. Monday night for the youth finals, Tuesday night for the Challenge of the Champions, and last night was our first big finals night. And people are really packing it in here to watch. Feel free to come down to the Will Rogers and join us. We're in the John Justin Arena. Guys, I hope to see you both back at my table this week.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the
Thank
plan.
you so much.
Hopefully for winning too, not just for commentating.
Right, but you know you're welcome to do that.
Yeah, I might come back if I don't make a finals. So.
That's not going to happen.
Y'all go back and
Not
watch
planning on
that
it.
from last night. I had a guest commentator over there helping me out. Kody did a great job.
I'm just happy to be up here and really happy for Equine Network for putting this all together. It's been an awesome finals, like Logan said last night before our finals. Record-setting finals for team numbers and payout so far, and I think we're just going to keep going up and up with everything new coming into the sport, so really exciting.
Yeah, I agree. We have really enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for joining
Thank you,
us.
Miss Amy.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.